Let's talk a little bit about December 10th, 2019. For years, it seemed like a weekly newsreel about mass shootings somewhere in our country with tragic mass fatalities. Most people watch the news and for some reason think to themselves, it will never happen to us. But on December 10th, it did happen to us when two shooters entered a kosher grocery store and murdered several people after shooting and killing a police officer and another young man. Well, that was the most difficult day I've ever experienced as mayor. I take solace in the fact that our police officers and police leadership did an outstanding job in keeping a terrible situation from becoming much worse. How, you might ask? Well, first, active shooter training has been a big investment for our administration since I took office. This is one of those things that I felt was neglected. So in 2014, we hired some of the best police trainers in the country to work with our emergency services unit in the Jersey City Police Department, and we began to revamp all of our protocols on what we would do if we had an active shooter here in Jersey City. We've done scenario after scenario over the years with practice and more practice. And if you happen to follow my weekly Jersey City updates, I often spoke about this training and it being one of those investments we're making that I hope would never need to use. On December 10th, I was thankful that the City Council has supported me on this decision over the years and that we made the necessary commitments. We also made the investment over the years prior to December 10th in upgrading all of our Jersey City PD equipment, from outdated equipment from the 1970s to more state-of-the-art technology, so that we can rest assured as a city, if we were ever in need, that we were prepared if any situation came about. On December 10th, our police chief, public safety director, and the men and women of the Jersey City Police Department put all that training to use and were nothing short of amazing. For me personally, it was about what happened in the hours after the shooting that I think is almost more emblematic of who we are as a city, and for certain, how I feel as both an American and a grandson of Holocaust survivors. What I did next was, when other elected leaders were saying that we need to wait and investigate over the next few days the motives of the shooters, I was clear, vocal, and early with what I felt was your voice. I was the first to vocalize the actions on December 10th as a clear hate crime, and I called out other elected officials for not acknowledging this for what it was, a hate crime.
It was no question a hate crime, no question rooted in anti-Semitism. I think more and more information will prove out that point.
But after reviewing the CCTV cameras on the Jersey City side, we do feel comfortable that it was a targeted attack on the Jewish kosher deli across the street here.
As the mayor of the most diverse city in the country, we have no place for this, and I firmly believe the only way to push out hate is to not delay and call it out when you have the megaphone to do so. This started a conversation in our own city between different communities about where we can work more closely together and how we could bridge gaps that existed but weren't really acknowledged. Fast forward today, we have shared religious services at several holidays that didn't exist before, and we have more communication between communities than we've ever had in our city.